Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Good morning. Good preparation day morning.
It is.
It is indeed.
Almost Shabbat.
It is almost Shabbat, and
we are excited.
we're excited about getting into Shabbat and holding it, holding our place, holding Shabbat as a place in our life. I should say that.
I like it because it's a statement that says the world is not going to own me.
Yes.
And I'm going to.
Yes.
You can't just keep piling things on me and make me work through it.
Yes.
I'm going to lay it all aside, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. I was thinking this week, I actually was thinking quite a bit about it this week off and on, about the changes that people have in their lives because of Shabbat. Mm-hmm. I was just doing that little thing we're studying the lifespans or the life expectancies of different people groups around the world.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And the one in the United States is the Seventh-day Adventist people.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody thinks it's because of their
diet.
Their diet.
Yes.
Yeah. But it isn't. Advent is the word for capturing, holding an event, a person, or whatever. Mm-hmm. In this case, it's an event because it's the seventh day.
Right.
Seventh day Adventist means they're holding it as holy. And I, when you're saying that, it comes back with a whole lot of history and a whole lot of, not on them, not on the people group,
right,
but on Shabbat.
Yes.
And a whole lot of biblical pretext to it, saying that if you keep the Shabbat, he'll stay with you because of it. Mm-hmm. But the problem being is that it turned into some religious law, and it got lost. It got lost in religion, and we don't do the I love our Jewish brothers, but their oral law is not the law we have,
right?
And we're not intended to. Okay, and so when we look at that, all those structured things and all those things you can do. I mean, you can't even ride in an elevator, and all that. you got to walk up steps, and that's like. How does that work for rest? And it is your body too that is oftentimes missed. We don't with religion think that we forget that you've been bought with a price and you're not your own. Your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, and when we look at it as His, you've been bought with a price, and you're not your own. Then, when you start thinking along, well, what does that mean? Well, that means He makes the rules. Man doesn't make the rules; He does. And rest is something you have to. We started this 2 years ago, really starting it. We talked about it, preached about it, all that sort of thing for a long time before that. But we started, and we had no idea what we were really doing. When I say that, it's a revelatory adventure, and it should be for everyone.
Yes.
I mean, when we were doing the book, The Mystery of One, we found we were deeply digging into history and Scripture and history, and found that in the beginning the dominion factor, and then as we are made and we're to take dominion. But the first thing that man does with God when he and she together, they're one at that point.
Right.
It's
they've not been separated.
Not been separated.
Yep.
And the first thing they get to do is walk in the garden with God in Shabbat.
Yeah.
Because they're the last creation on the sixth day of preparation. They're prepared now, and I like to look at it too as all creation has been put in place for them to have dominion.
Yes.
Right. 126.
Yeah.
And then you drop down, and the animals, and then people, and then Shabbat, the seventh day. Now we look at it too. There's some principles there's revelation on it on Shabbat, but there's some principles that one needs to hold near and dear, and we're going to talk about a little bit about it today, especially in the name and the language of YeHoVaH, and almost forgot what I was saying there, but the principle of those revelations. Can I say that for revelations? That's probably not a good word, but to describe it. But revelation after revelation, deeper and deeper revealing of the power of Shabbat. It's central to him in the 10 matters. You know, the 10 Commandments, it's normally called, but we found that word is better translated as matters, that which matters to him. The Shabbat is prominent there. Idolatry, getting rid of all idolatry, keeping Shabbat. And
don't murder your brother.
And I
mean, it's just like all there. It's like...
yeah. And we found one of the revelations is... continuing to hold the event of the seventh day in our as
protected,
prominent, as precious. That's the word. That's a good word. Precious, as precious to us. That Shabbat, then things begin to happen from it.
Yes,
because it's revelation.
Right.
All right, so then you start looking at, well, what does it? What actually does Shabbat do? Well, and what am I supposed to do?
Right.
Now there are those who pile a whole lot of restrictive things. It's not about what you should do. It's about don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, and so few ever come to the place of anything but. You're supposed to pray these prayers or anything like that. But they don't. There's no teaching that it's the joy of the week. It's you work 6 days and you come to that seventh, and now you enjoy His presence. And when you say goodbye to all those things in your lives that are stressful, like Charlie Kirk did some teaching on it because it became a new revelation to him, and all of a sudden
he's like, "Wow, I keep all the commandments. Well, there's one missing.
There's one I don't do so good on." And he also found that, wait a minute, it's the seventh day, not the first day of the week.
Yes,
and that was made up by dead religion.
Yes.
Made that up, and it was anti-Semitic.
Right.
It was purposely anti-Semitic, and unfortunately, let's say the Pope, they said you can't go to heaven if you're not going to be in Christ, in the anointing. If you don't work on Saturday, and they say Saturday, and I don't say Saturday, they say Saturday, and the first day of the week is as little as possible. Okay, well, all that is man's head. It's Gnosticism and an agenda to get us away from what YeHoVaH actually gave to us. They've done the same thing with His name, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But I just was meditating a bunch on it because I read a couple of things. I read that part, that thing that Kirk said, that Charlie Kirk said, and about he put his phone in a drawer for 25 hours.
Yes.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
You told me that originally when you first read it, and I just read it the other day too. And he put his phone in a drawer and never touched it for 25 hours. Yes. Now, 25 is a number given by the Jews, but I think this is a good one, and it because the added hour to a day, make sure you got it covered.
Right. Yes.
It's
You're
just-
not going to shortchange
You're
it.
not going to shortchange. Well, I don't want to shortchange it. I like
Right.
that.
Yes.
I choose that. You
Right.
don't have to choose that. Nothing in the scripture says 25 hours, but
Right.
I choose that. Okay, and that's a good one because it helps me. I think it helps me keep the preciousness of Shabbat very real. Then comes all of the benefits within it.
Right.
When you're in it, you have no idea how keyed up you are after 6 days. It's like, especially when you're a workaholic. I mean, workaholics take a Shabbat. They start really knowing something, because they're just. First of all, it's difficult to. It seems like it's.
It was very difficult to stop at first.
Yes.
And it wasn't so much difficult to physically stop so much, but my mind was always, oh yeah, what about that and that and that. So as those things would come up, I would write them down so that I could move on from it.
Do you still do that now?
I find sometimes, I'll, something will pop into my head and it's like, oh, I totally forgot about that. And all of a sudden it's there in front of me and I stop and I go write it down so that it's there for the next day.
I every once in a while, I find that on some Shabbats, I do that more than others.
Yes.
I don't know what that is. Probably just your surroundings and all that.
I think it is
stuff
partly.
that's going on.
And whatever else is going on. Like I don't put my phone in a drawer for 25 hours because we're at the stage now where our children are not at home.
Right.
And so Shabbat for me is often a time where I can sit and talk to my children or FaceTime or our grandchildren or what that looks like. So there's, I think in different phases of life, I don't think we should feel guilty about not putting our phone in a drawer because I use my phone not for work, but for the purpose of communicating with and spending time with our children and grandchildren on Shabbat.
Yes.
When they can't, especially when they can't be here and they're scattered all over the world.
Absolutely. And that's the way
and
we
parents
do it.
too.
Yeah.
And so, and so I use that time on Shabbat for that.
Yes.
Not all the time, but sometimes. And so
enjoyable stuff.
right.
And plus, when you're looking at all my Bibles are on my
phone.
I haven't preached from the pages of a Bible in so long.
You should turn your microphone off while you say this.
But the reason why is I only have one translation when I'm sitting there looking at that. When I look at my phone, I don't just have the translation, one translation. I got hundreds of them on there.
Yes.
And furthermore, I push the button. Or I push my finger on the word, and up comes the original languages and history of that word. And when it comes to the revelatory things that are there and the truths that are available to us, if we only look at the traditional
English translation.
American English translations, you miss a whole lot because you hear me say it all the time that if you're going to translate biblical language into a language, don't pick English. It's one of the worst ones possible.
Yes.
And there are basic linguistic scientific reasons for that statement. That's not because I don't like my language. I do.
Yes.
I grew up in it.
Right.
But
we're going to show you some of that today.
And we're going to show you some of it today.
It's going to be
That's
really fun.
So let's get to work at it and see.
And
anyway, we love Shabbat. Shabbat is here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have called this one, Behold the Hand.
Yes.
Behold the Nail. And you can see that at the top of your notes.
It gives me stuff, Ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding.
And I think I kind of wonder. I was wondering a little earlier this morning, in understanding why we did this. I'm wondering if that is not a part of the reason why the rabbis chose to cover up the name. Is because it it shows what was intended from before time began.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, so we'll get into it right now. So Isaiah 56, we're going to start there.
And this is what we call a pivotal verse.
Uh-huh.
And when that's a Wayne and Stephanie word, okay? You don't find that anywhere. And it's a descriptive word that we've come to in our studies. A pivotal verse is you can be reading along and all of a sudden there's this verse that is so...
The angel starts singing and there's a highlighter there and the light gets brighter just on that piece of the page.
You hear thunder and lightning out, that sort of thing.
That kind of thing.
and the reason why is because that verse reveals the heart of Yehovah.
Right.
And
yes.
He's got these hidden things in there. And Yeshua said it. He said, to you is given the knowledge, the understanding of the parables. But on them, they get everything in a parable. Why is that? Because they don't have the hunger for
what we're talking about here.
For YeHoVaH, for the person of God.
Right.
And so you have to have the hunger for the person of God. And when you do that, you come across these blaring things like, how did I miss that? How many times have I read that and missed it? And this is another one of those.
Okay, so this is Isaiah 56, starting in verse 6. The foreigners who join themselves to YeHoVaH to minister to him and to love the name YeHoVaH, to be his servants, everyone who keeps from profaning Shabbat and holds fast my covenant. I will bring him to my holy mountain and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices will be acceptable on my altar. For my house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples. So,
probably the more famous part of this is my house shall be called a house of prayer.
Yes.
Because Yeshua actually quotes this.
Yes,
right?
Yes. So, and he's talking about all the peoples. And so we've started studying Hebrew a little more, and started for the purpose of actually learning it, and if not speaking it, to be able to read it. And I got my first Hebrew word this week. It was go ahead.
So when we start talking about Hebrew, we're talking about one of the most ancient languages, if not the most ancient language upon the face of the earth. And when there's this thing that we've been dumbed down about in our education system, they want us to think we're the smartest people in the world, so that they can dumb us down and we won't know it. I mean, that's their plan, and that's their open plan. That's not just something they thought, oh, this is kind of working good. The fact is, they intend to dumb us down because they're those principalities are operating in the education systems of the world, and and probably the United States and the Western world is the worst of it. And they think that they make us try to think that when you go back in history, those people are not smart. They're just they're Neanderthal. They just eat roots. They dig up roots and eat, and that's all they think about. Is they're kind of like more animalistic. It goes along with the whole thought about evolution and all that stuff, and it's as if man is evolving and intelligence, and we've got the dumbest people on the planet in this hour and in this time. Why is that? Because powers, principalities, rulers of the darkness of this world have taken over, and we didn't listen to the Apostle Paul when he says they're there and we wrestle against them. And when it comes to the logistics of languages, you take the Asian Oriental languages, you take the Aboriginal languages. That's a fun one to study. And you take many of the Indian languages that we have, the American Indian languages. and so on. They're
and Arabic,
right,
and Hebrew.
There's when the Greeks came into being, they started the roll into the Greek language, which also rolled into the Latin languages, and those gradually took the, I want to say, the earthiness of those other languages, and systematically began to break down all that's in them. Okay, and that's what we're going to see right now. This isn't. Please don't think of this. Oh, that's old. It is old, but it's better than what we've got.
Well, and the interesting thing is that when we look at our English letters, and you look at the alphabet, those letters are symbols for a sound, right? And so you take, for example, just the letter T, and it's T. And every time you see a T, it's T, right? And you look at like the letter O. O, when you study phonics, you understand that O has 4 different sounds. It's A, O, oo, and and it just depends on the word and the structure around it as to how it's pronounced. And so in English, we have letters that represent a sound. And that's really the depth of it, that there's nothing beyond that. But when you look at these other languages that Wayne just mentioned, Chinese and Indian and Aboriginal languages and Arabic and Hebrew, and there's probably a few others there, probably some of the African languages that I'm unfamiliar with.
Yeah.
Their languages, the written language, the symbols that are used not only represent a specific sound, but they are actually a picture or derived from a picture that has a meaning that is much, much deeper than just a sound for a letter. It's actually, there's a whole history behind each individual character is probably a better word. It's not really a letter. It's a character that is a part of the language, and using those characters, when you build words, you actually build an entire story into a single word.
Yes.
And so rather than just, and so there's a saying that says that in Hebrew, for example, when the name is the thing, right? Because it's not just the sounds of the letters, but it's actually the whole character that is encompassed in the name. It's in the history, it's in the pictures. And so
would you say it's like a story?
Yeah, it's like a story within the name. So just as an example that's not related to what we're talking to right here, my first word that I figured out from the letters that I had already learned was the Hebrew word for meditate. And it uses the hey and the Gimel and a hey. It's 3 letters. Most Hebrew words have a base of 3 letters.
Gimel, hey.
Yeah. And it's pronounced Haga. And it actually, so the hey in Hebrew, the letter hey is a representation of behold. And so, and then the Gimel in the middle is a picture of a camel, and it refers actually to the camel, or it can also mean to be lifted up, like if you think of a camel coming up off the ground. And so you have here a behold, that which is lifted up in the middle of 2 letters that are basically saying behold. And so when you meditate on something, you actually behold it and lift it up into your thinking, into your meditation, into all of that. And it's a really big word using just a couple of letters. And that was really fun and exciting. But that's just a basic example of that.
I want to say that we use charts to help us with this, because memory isn't our number one thing we do. But this is one of them that we have, and there are all of these letters in pretty much modern text.
Yes.
Characters.
That's the other thing too, is that the characters have changed over the centuries.
Right. Mm-hmm. And they were even more story filled early on, right?
They're still story filled, but they don't resemble as much the original thought. Like, for example,
I guess that's what I meant.
So the dalet, which is our sound duh, is a line across the top with a kind of a U underneath connecting to the top. Mm-hmm. And the dalet is actually a symbol of a door. Mm-hmm. And that's the original thing of it, because a door used to be just a hanging piece of leather or cloth or something that you pushed aside.
Yes.
And it actually looks like that, very much so.
So it wasn't rectangular. It was this side of it with because it was like a flap.
Right. And so it looks like that. It looks like a flap. And so, but our modern one is actually the lintel, and then just one doorpost that comes down. And
which is kind of cool, because it goes with, table of YeHoVaH.
Yes. And so and so that word door, or that picture of a door, so you can see when a letter or a character has that much meaning behind it, when you put it into a word, the word explodes.
Yeah.
Right? So
probably to answer questions I feel like are going to come up with dalet, for instance, and all the letters are like this. This is unlike the rest of it, but door is really easy. That's a good one to pick. So many. The word door means so much.
Yes.
I mean, if you say door, what kind of door are we talking about? Are we talking about the door on your house? That's the first thing that comes to my mind, and probably most people. But there's doors of other things. There's spiritual doors. There's entrances. There are portals.
Yeah, portals and openings and passing through. And so when that wet letter is used in a word, all of those, any or all of those meanings can come to play. And it can be positive or negative.
And it's known as a door, a path, a way of life.
Right, yes.
Okay, movement into or out of. All those things come to mind when you have a door.
When you have a door. And so when it's used in a word, you could have any of those meanings that come to play into the word.
Now the interesting thing is, the really exciting thing is that when you go into the Bible and you find the Hebrew word behind that English word, you find that it means one of those things that word does, and in it you'll find prominent in that is a dalet.
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
I think. Well, we haven't found it any other way.
Yeah, and so you can see that the combinations of the letters make the meanings of those English words really rich and really deep.
So what we do is we put a letter in a word to give it
a sound.
A sound. And right?
Right.
And we think that's all it is. It's a sound.
Yes.
But think about it. If you put all these letters together in a sound and it comes up with a word, how do you build that word?
Right.
Scientifically, how do you build that word?
Right.
Well, and if you study, and I would tell you that even it's easier to start understanding this. I mean, I found it easier. It may not be easier to everybody, but I found it easier when I switched over to Chinese, because the Chinese make every letter very still today. Modern Chinese. The letters are they're works of art.
Yes, they are. Yes. So along those lines, we've got a couple of slides here that are fun. Okay, so here, this slide here. So that top word there that you see in Hebrew, and remember, Hebrew is read from right to left, not from left to right. And so that is the picture of your Yud, your Hey, and the Vav, and the Hey. And you can see those, you can pick those out because the Hey is the same letter in there twice.
So by the pictures, what does that mean?
Right. And so when you look at that, the Yud is a representation of a hand. And actually, specifically, it's more of a closed hand than an open palm. And so and so you have the hand. The Hey is a representation of the word behold. And then the Vav is actually a picture, and you can kind of see it almost looks like a bent nail. And so it's a nail. And so when you look at the name YeHoVaH, which is at the top, it's without the vowels, and most Hebrew is written without vowels. Mm-hmm. And at the bottom, on the bottom one there, it's with the vowels. And so those little dots and markings that you see around those 4 letters in the Tetragrammaton refer specifically to the different vowels and the accent of the name, which is why you always hear us say YeHoVaH, because that note there on the top of the Vav tells you that last syllable is accented.
That's it, accented,
right.
The accent. And realize that we have over 50 places in ancient scrolls and codexes. Mm-hmm. In fact, here's a picture of the Aleppo Codex. Mm-hmm. This is a picture of it dirty, okay, meaning this is the way it looks on the codex. Yep. Now the difference between a scroll and codex, again, scroll is those round things they pull out, right? A codex is more like a book.
It's like a book,
but it's not a book. It's layers. One layer on top of the other.
It's like a pile of paper.
Yeah, it's like a pile of paper, but it usually, they didn't have paper.
Yes.
Okay, this is a dirty copy of it, and you see that there are
you can see the Yud and the Hey and the Vav and the Hey.
Yes.
But you can also see the vowel markings on it.
Right, and here's one cleaned up. We have one that's cleaned up here somewhere.
Right below it, I think.
I think right below it here.
Yeah. There it is.
Yes, there it is.
That's
the
same one.
Same thing. Picture of it that did a little Photoshop to clean it up, so you can see it. You can see this is the one that's the original. Mm-hmm. This is the cleaned up one, so you can actually see what those are. It's brought out.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And so the Yud is the hand. And the Vav is the nail, and so you have behold the hand, behold the nail.
Oh, that's the title of our.
Yeah, that's what we call it then. And it was.
Do nails go into hands?
Well, they did in this case.
Okay.
And when you realize that YeHoVaH's name, that is the literal translation of those letters and the huge picture story that is in there. It's the biggest story there is.
It's right.
And when you realize that was his name, and his name existed before the foundation of the earth.
And obviously the plan.
The plan was there.
Jeez.
Before he ever said, light be.
Yeah. I hope this makes you really excited, because it does us. I mean,
and it just, to me, that was earth shattering to see that YeHoVaH, if we were to translate into English, behold the hand, behold the nail.
Wow.
And the life that comes from that is truly, it's beyond words.
So what are we saying here in Yud-Hey-Vav-Hey? It is before we knew anything about him, the cross and the one on the cross with the hands which were nailed to that cross on Golgotha's hill were in the name YeHoVaH all along.
Yeah.
That's like a big wow.
But think about this too. It shows you the extent of the foresight and the planning, because it wasn't that, oh no, they took the fruit, they listened to the serpent, now we have to come up with a plan.
Yeah.
The plan was already there.
It was already there. It was there. Isn't that something?
And the truth of it was,
and he had the numbness of intellect to the evil one, even the serpent of old, was responsible for making it happen.
right.
You know?
Yes.
What a shame
Yes.
upon him.
Yes.
What a shame upon him.
Right.
And yet, what glory to us
Yes.
who believe it. Because he did it for us. The
Right.
plan was there
Yeah,
for us all along.
Yes. Yeah. And he had you in mind.
Yes, he did.
He did. He had all of you in mind. And when you look at the agenda to cover up the name
Yeah.
and to make that name go away, because every time you say YeHoVaH, you are I feel like you are speaking to spirit. When you're speaking spirit to spirit, and it doesn't matter who you're talking to, what you are saying is, behold the hand, behold the nail. You're speaking that salvation, you're speaking that deliverance out of the kingdom of darkness into the kingdom of light in speaking his name.
Absolutely. And the second chapter of Philippians said he was given a name above every other name.
Yes.
And that it didn't put him above YeHoVaH.
Right.
The name, it said in English, it's Jesus Christ, but in Hebrew, it is Yahashua.
Right.
And it has Yahah, which is the nail and the hand.
Right. Okay. Sorry. I thought you had Yahushua.
I don't have that.
Okay,
I didn't. We should have built a thing for that, because
but that's okay. You can see it in the notes.
Yeah, when you're around us, why don't you ask us? We'll
Yes.
draw it for you on a piece of paper.
Yes.
How cool it is that when Moses changed Joshua's name to Joshua, which is Yahashua, which is has been changed by translators to Jesus, and even when they've translated the Matthew, Luke, and John, where Miriam is to call his name, it's
Yahashua.
Joshua, not Jesus.
Right.
And in the dream from the angel, Joseph got the name Joshua.
Right.
But it got traditionally changed into Jesus.
Yes.
Okay. Now Jesus was a transliteration.
So the thing with Jesus, though, is that it's Greek letters.
Yes.
And do you see how shallow that becomes when you take a symbol that has a whole history and picture and understanding and move it into a language that just has letters?
Yes. In Jesus, there's no hand or nail.
No,
it's not there.
Yes, yes.
It is suddenly disappeared
and
by religion.
And there's no beholding.
And there's no beholding.
Yeah.
But realize this now. He answers to those names. Okay, we always have to clarify that and make sure people know we're not building a religion of the word police and making sure that you call him Yeshua, which is actually Aramaic of that same word, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean that if in his day, in Jesus's day, in Yahashua's day, his mother would have called him.
Yeshua in the marketplace, yes.
But if she was writing it, she would write Yahashua.
Yes.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And so it becomes important. Yeshua still has the yod and the
hey
and the vav,
yes.
yod and the vav, which is the hand
And the nail.
And the nail.
Yes.
You want to keep that hand and nail in that name.
Right. Yes. Yes.
And that was speaking of him all along from the beginning. For in the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. Same was in the beginning with God. All things were created by him, and without him nothing has been created that has been created.
Yes.
That's him.
Yes.
And then when he comes along and the believers arise, and the Apostle Paul says he gave him a name above all other names. He's talking about all the names in the world, because it is not above YeHoVaH. It is YeHoVaH.
It is YeHoVaH. Yes.
It is the name YeHoVaH. And he's in both names.
Right. Yes.
But one's part of the story, the other's the rest of the story.
Yeah. This is the beginning and because he is the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
Right.
Indeed.
And so with that little piece of with that
rabbit trail
for
we
me
just did.
huge revelation. Let's look at a couple of other words in this book in this verse.
Yeah, this verse.
Okay, so let's look at the word foreigner at the beginning there when he talks about. He says the foreigners who join themselves to YeHoVaH, right? And so the word foreigner is made up of these two Hebrew letters. There's the Hebrew letter of the bet and the nun. And so literally, so bet is a representation of a house or a tent or a body, something that houses something else. And so you can see how that can be actually a fairly big word, not just referring to a residence.
So our chart says tent or house, the body, the household or family, inside, within, and amid.
And so you've got all of that encompassed in the bet. And then the nun is literally a fish, which it doesn't look a whole lot like a fish now, but it also means a fish. It also has to do with life. It has to do with action. It has to do with offspring, descendants, heirs to the throne, his faithfulness in the inheritance, to sprout. So it's a big word, and it has all of these meanings. And so literally the word, what is translated there, foreigner, has to do with life in the house.
And specifically, the word is ben.
Is ben, which means son.
Son.
And so the son is the life of the house, the inheritance, and that word there is son.
Now, the gospel can be preached from this using the word foreigners.
Yes.
And because we're all foreigners as Gentiles, for instance.
Yes.
We can preach it that way.
But we have become his children.
And it's good preaching. But the fact is, we find in the Greek, he's making us sons.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's actually already when the sons join themselves to YeHoVaH. Isn't that something?
To minister to him, to love his name, YeHoVaH, to be his servants, everyone who keeps from profaning Shabbat. I find that so interesting. It's like, okay, so what is profane? Let's look at that.
Oh, okay.
What does it mean to profane, right? And so we go here, which is, did you do profane?
Yes, that's, yep.
Is that profane there?
I think so.
I don't think so.
No,
that's covenant.
That's covenant. Okay, so the next one. Next one down.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. We've got
Profaning. Sorry.
Okay. No, you're okay.
I should have put that the other way around, I guess.
Yeah, so there's profaning there. And so the profane, the literal, I don't have it here. So why don't you do that one? Because you did a little more work on that than I did.
Well, profaning has is Hallel.
Okay, so that's the
That's the top here.
Yep, and so that's the Hey and the Lamed twice, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Or is that the Heth?
Oh, is that the
That's the
Chet?
Heth.
Oh, sorry,
Heth,
that's the Chet.
that's why Hallel. is what it is. Heth. And it's a fence.
It has to do with a fence or surrounding and making things safe.
Inner room or chamber to separate, to cut off from, to protect. This kind of a opposite use sometimes, which is
and so
typical
that's what I'm
of Hebrew.
saying. Yes. And so then the lamed has to do with a shepherd's hook.
Yes.
And it can mean to be roping something in or
going forward, teaching, learning, tongue, all those things having to do. Really, it's a picture of a shepherd of the flock, like John chapter 10 when he says, "I am the good shepherd." The word lamed is pictured in Yeshua's wording there when he's teaching.
Right, and so these words can also have those opposite meanings, and so rather than the fencing picture there can be fencing you off from something.
Yes.
So when you keep yourself from profaning Shabbat, you keep yourself from cutting yourself off from Shabbat.
Yeah. We have an electric fence on our pasture for our animals, and it's not to keep our animals in because they'll stay in. No, it's not.
They'll stay in.
This is home to them. They got a rich home, you know.
Yes.
So they're not going to go anywhere. They just need to know their boundaries, and that's. But we put an electric fence in to do this side of lamed.
Keep the wild animals out.
Yes.
We have coyotes and other creatures
dangerous
here.
things that would come in and.
Yeah.
Right. So you basically we're talking about that same thing. The lamed is in protection,
and
but
to keep those other things from coming in.
Yes.
And profaning it, if you will.
Yeah, I just thought of that. I think that's a good example of how that works.
Right. Yes. Okay. Now covenant. Let's look at covenant.
Hold fast is the other.
Oh, sorry,
one.
That's on there.
Keeps from profaning Shabbat and holds fast.
So the holds fast, you've got the, let's see,
Azak.
which one? Hazak?
So it's ha.
Oh, yeah, so that's the ha. That's the het again, which is the fence. Okay, and then you have the nail, and then you have the, I haven't learned that letter yet.
The kof.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
The back of the head, what is behind, last, final, and least. And then so in this, hold fast, it's settled. It's all behind you because we're holding fast to this.
Right, and so when you're talking about the back of the head, you're talking about turning your back on everything that's held you fast so that you can be whole. Because that nail, think of it, a nail will hold two things together. So you're holding fast. So you're turning your back on that which has held you fast so that you could now, is that the het or the hay?
That's the het. Hey, het. The het.
Okay, so then you fence yourself in, and you surround yourself with those things that are in His covenant. You join yourself to His covenant.
Okay, so Beth.
Right.
Yep. Right. All right.
Okay, so now let's look at covenant.
So we're rejecting everything that is against Shabbat, and we're holding on to everything that is His covenant.
Right. His teaching so that our life can be abundant.
Yep.
And so this here is the word covenant, and it has the bet, which is the house, the hang on, let me put it on here. There we go. We got the bet, which is the house. We got the reish, which is the head, which it can also mean that which is most important. The yud, which again is the hand, which is usually closing. In this instance, it is closed. And then we have the tav, which is a mark or a sign. It can be the cross, and which showing ownership. to seal or covenant. And so here we have a word that is literally talking about the taking that which is closing in on that which is most important in your household.
Yeah.
And that is the sign.
And that's early on, that's the teaching of covenant comes from doing that. And when I say that, that goes back a long time ago. I don't even know, millennia ago. And the covenant then has been redefined. That word is one of those English words that's been redefined, and it's very legal. That's why I don't necessarily like to use that word. When that is used, we usually go to covenant connection, because connection fits berit.
Right. Yes.
Berit is for a purpose of bringing together.
Yes.
And we in English, modern English, covenant means these are the rules. These are the laws. You follow the laws. You stay within the law.
Yes.
And although you should do that, but that's not what that word tells us. It reveals to us a staying there together. It also gives the purpose of covenant.
Right.
And the purpose of covenant is to connect with you.
Yes.
So these sons need to be connected to, and there's where that covenant is.
In that house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go back to this one here. It just makes me so happy to see that. Behold the hand.
Yeah. Behold.
Behold the nail.
That's right. Here's another good picture right here. Oops, right there.
There it is. There it is. And so I would encourage you this Shabbat. Behold the hand.
Yes.
Behold
you
the
see,
nail.
everything is right to left
Yes.
in the language. So Yod, and that is
the hand.
the hand. Behold, hey.
Behold.
And the next one,
Is the Vav, which is the nail,
and the next one.
is the Hey. So you've got behold the hand, behold the nail.
That's absolutely amazing, isn't it?
It's to me it's whoops, wrong one. Where'd you put it?
Up above. It's
there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it here. Yeah. And so it's I don't know. We should go to the table.
You think we should?
I think we should.
I think we should too. It's time.
pretty-
Time is up.
I mean,
It's so much fun talking about this.
what else? I mean, what other thing can you do when you behold the hand and behold the nail?
Yeah, I hope this is the
Where else
subject
can
matter
you go?
of coffee tomorrow, you know.
Right? Oh, I'm so excited.
So when you think from the beginning, behold the hand, behold the nail, and when on the night in which he was betrayed, before that happened, just hours before that parable, prophetic parable that went as long as time exists, that was in place.
Yeah.
And it's about to. And he takes the bread and he says, "This bread is my body, which is for you."
Yeah.
That explains Isaiah 56.
It does.
You're a son.
Yes.
This is for you.
Yeah.
Wow. So that we're united there. That covenant uniting, that coming together is there. It's right here in this bread. And we thank YeHoVaH. We thank Yahashua for making this take place, and all I had to do was believe. And in believing on his body instead of mine, what his body did instead of what mine did, what his body can still do as opposed to what my body can do. This is his body we partake of, and we are grateful for. Amen.
And he delivers us.
He does. And then he took the cup after supper, saying, "This cup is the new covenant of my blood, which is for you." All of this, I'm going to read Isaiah 56 with the blood. The foreigners, the sons, who join themselves to YeHoVaH, they join themselves to the nail in the hand. That's what sons do, right? It produced blood, and the blood and water flowed. And to be his servants, we are his servants, we are his children, we are his, to serve him, to walk in him, with him, and for him. All of that that is there. Everyone who is not, who keeps from profaning Shabbat. We are not profaning Shabbat. We started this conversation with the glories of Shabbat and holding fast to his covenant connection. Then I will bring them to my holy mountain and make them joyful, joy-filled in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices will be acceptable on my altar. And I believe in altars. Still to this day, we'll have to teach on that sometime. And for my house will be called the house of prayer for all people. Some translations say nations. And this blood is for you. And Father, we thank you for it. We're the Son. Father, we thank you for the blood. Thank you. So that was fun. We hope you
had some fun with us.
Yes, some fun with us in the word, in the
let
depths
us know
of the
in the
Word
comments. If you're on the app, let us know in the comments, or if you're on Facebook, let us know if you enjoyed this, if you learned anything, if it brought you into his presence.
Yeah, if you get around us, ask us questions about it, and because we're excited about this, and
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. So this name is when you think of behold the lamb behold the hand, behold the nail, we speak that name upon you now. And Shua is save. It's a proclamation. YeHoVaH, save, is what it means. And he saves. And so we speak that name upon you. We declare it and all of its richness and all of its created intent upon you and your families. And we say to you, Shabbat Shalom. Amen.